We are now joined by Texas head coach Chris Beard. Coach, when you're comfortable, if you can give us a few comments about your team.
I don't know if any coach is comfortable in October. Season's right around the corner, but I want to thank everybody for being here today. Big 12 Media Days in a lot of ways is always kind of the start of college basketball, so appreciate what each of you guys do for our sport, for our league, the best league in college basketball in my opinion, and also for our players. I know today's a lot about telling the individual stories of our players, so I want to thank you in advance of doing that. Got a 14-man roster in Austin right now, and 3 of those 14 players will represent us today. I'm proud to be with those guys, and I'm looking forward to you guys having a chance to meet them and learn more about their individual stories and also our team story. But certainly Brock Cunningham is one of the all-time greats in the Big 12. He's a veteran. He's a graduate of the University of Texas. He's working on post-grad and taking advantage of kind of the extra years in college basketball. I think he might even have a year after this, so it'll turn him into like a Rodney Dangerfield type dude, like a decade in Texas. But Brock's a special guy. I look forward to you guys spending some time with him. Tyrese Hunter, one of our new players, transfers this year, is doing a great job in Austin. Look forward to competing with him on the court. He's an outstanding person. Did a great job at Iowa State in this league last year, and coaches there did a great job with him. We look forward to Tyrese having his second year in our league. Thirdly, we're joined by one of our freshmen. We have 5 freshmen on this year's team, 2 redshirt freshmen, but Dylan Mitchell's here in Kansas City, another guy I'm really looking forward to coaching. He's doing a great job early in his journey here, a guy that I think can impact winning at Texas early in his career. But again, I want to thank you guys for being here today. Any questions?
Please remember that we've got Rachel and Christopher with handheld microphones. Please identify yourself along with your media agency.
Jeff Howe, Horns 24/7. Chris, the guys that came back from last year that got the experience of winning in March, have you seen that kind of manifest itself? What benefits from winning in March have you seen throughout the offseason and throughout the early part of practice?
Yeah, I think from a coaching standpoint, it's always nice to have returning players. This time last year, we were, busy working at building a culture, building a team. Year 2, it's more about defending the culture and executing it daily. And a lot of that comes down to the returning players you have. This year's team's kind of a 7-7 model for us. We got 7 kind of veteran players. All of them have played in the NCAA tournament. All of them have won in the NCAA tournament. All of them have played in championship type games in their careers. Then we have 7 freshmen, including 4 in this year's recruiting class. But I think with the returners, so many benefits from that. With our team this year specifically, it's not just about those guys returning as guys that played and won in the NCAA tournament last year. It's more about, the exact guys that we wanted back. Each of them chose to come back to Texas for the right reasons. I think each of them saw value in coming back, and we feel like we have a lot of unfinished business together. But those 5 guys that returned, 3 all-conference players, a healthy Dylan Dessou, in my mind, who can be an all-conference player, and certainly Brock Cunningham, again, one of the all-time Big 12 greats. Those 5 guys, I think, give us a chance to be more than relative as returners. You add the 2 transfers, Jabari Rice and Tyrese Hunter, 2 guys that really were our top choices in recruiting. Talented guys, but also winners. Again, guys that have played in the NCAA tournament, won in the NCAA tournament, and played for great coaches. So those 7 veterans combined with our young guys, I think that's where the source of optimism is right now in our program, that we could be more than relative year 2.
Coach, we're going to go to your left over here, and then we'll come back to your over to the right.
Hey, Coach. Mason Horoditsky with KLBK and KMAC back in Lubbock, Texas. As you're kind of going into year 2 now at Texas and trying to build, obviously, the culture that you want to build, what's similar and what's different from year 2 of when you were at Texas Tech?
Well, I have to think back of that. I try to kind of live every day where my feet are, so I don't spend a lot of time, especially this time of year, reflecting. But I want to be accurate in what I say. But I think the first-year team, wherever you coach, whether it be, for me, Angelo State, Little Rock, a lot of places along the way, certainly Texas Tech, the first team, you always have great memories of. I was really proud of our first team in Austin for sure. Did a lot of great things last year building the program in year one. It didn't show up on the scoreboard. Increased attendance, sold out games in the student section. Did a lot of things, building the program year one. So reflecting back in Lubbock, I think year one was a huge success. Thinking back to some of those guys like Anthony Livingston and some of those players that helped us get it started. Then I think year two, we played in the Elite Eight. So, to compare the two journeys is impossible. It's something I really don't have the time to do. But I know this, year two is really important in Austin because we have really good players, we have a great fan base, and we're excited to compete in what I again believe is the best league in college basketball right now.
Let's go to the third row here.
Chris, Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News. May be hard to believe, but just going back in the history of the conference, this is the first time that all four Texas schools, even going back to when A&M was in the conference, were ranked in the AP preseason top 25. I guess what does it say about, the quality of those programs and state of basketball in Texas?
Yeah, those are things that are always personal to me. I like those questions. Those are the kind of things I think about. I grew up in Texas. Irving, Texas is my hometown. Obviously, I went to the University of Texas, and I've had the pleasure and privilege of coaching at a lot of schools in this state. So, I'm a Texan, period. And I think, thinking back to where basketball was when I was in high school, I played for two Hall of Fame high school coaches, and Mike Kunstadt and Terry Priest, in two different cities, basically the Dallas area and the Houston area. And basketball has grown so much. In fact, when I was a high school player, we really couldn't play AAU because of the rules. I couldn't go to basketball camps after I'd played a varsity game. I'm now thinking today where the Texas players get to benefit playing in the spring, the summer, showcases, the access coaches have, the 1 hour activity period. So just a lot of growth. So with your question about the success of college basketball in Texas, I give a lot of that credit to the high school coaches and the grassroots coaches. I mean, undeniably the best AAU basketball in our country is in Texas. That's not even disputable in a lot of ways. So I think now it all starts with the coaching and the grassroots and the high school basketball, and so to see college basketball kind of follow suit. But I would agree. You think about what Coach Sampson's got going on at Houston. Certainly proud of what Coach Adams has continued in Lubbock, and Coach Drew just won a championship. I don't want to leave anybody out. Jamie's got one of the best teams in college basketball coming back. I mean, on and on and on again, all the way down to the mid-major level. So college basketball is real in Texas. Me personally, I reflect back to the high school coaches and the AAU coaches and the jobs they're doing.
Got time for one more question.
Sam Lance with Adam Zagori and Zags blog. It was reported a week or so ago that the NBA is possibly moving back toward the 18 draft age. With that, I have a two-part question for you. Firstly, what are kind of just your general thoughts with that, and how do you think it will affect your recruiting approach?
I'm not great with the two-part questions. The ADD kicks in. So the first one with the NBA draft age, I just really try to control what we can control. Those decisions aren't up to me. I think personally as a basketball fan, a basketball guy, it makes sense to me. Like I think the best players should be able to take the path that they want. But I know a lot of that comes down to the NBA groups and things like that. So we just adjust. One thing I know about college basketball is we adjust. They change the rules on us often, and our sport always thrives. I hear from time to time, man, is this going to kill the NCAA tournament? I don't think anything will ever kill the NCAA tournament because college basketball is always about players. There's always going to be players in college basketball. So, second full, what was the second part of the question?
How will it affect your recruiting, Coach?
Yeah, it definitely affect recruiting. And obviously the portal in the last couple of years, now name, image, and likeness and things like this, there's always changing factors in recruiting. So certainly if the NBA rule changes back, most of us, myself included, recruited and coached in college basketball when there was the ability for high school players to go straight to the draft, and then it changed back. So a lot of it will be kind of going back to our old philosophies before it changed, but it'll definitely change that because you got to know what prospects, you can go after.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck this season.